Hey, 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 it's Deanne here. How are you? So, I just want to come on and say I'm going to start doing more live videos for you to give you some really good information. And so, today is the first day, and I'm going to start with some basic stuff. I'm going to start with digestion. This to me is the most important thing that I can talk about. And if you follow me on TikTok and Instagram, you notice I've been talking about this a lot. And the reason is because everyone I come into contact with, my clients, potential clients, my family, my friends, strangers are not doing this. As simple and easy as this is, and it's not new to you. I know you've heard it before. You are not doing it. So instead of asking me what supplement you should be taking, should you be taking a medication, what food you should be eating, this is where we have to start. This is what's more important than anything else. So when you dive in with the problems that you're having and you want to know how to fix it, this is where you need to start. Okay. And the great thing is that it's free, it's easy. It takes a little bit of, thought and on your part, but it's not difficult to do. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go give you a little bit of background about the digestive system, then I'm going to jump right in. So the digestive system, whenever we talk about it, and when we talk about gut, that's kind of, that term we use for the entire digestive system. And it starts in the mouth. Okay. We have the salivary glands, we have the mouth, the teeth, the tongue, all of that, because we're chewing things and breaking our food down. Then it moves into the esophagus, into the stomach. That's where the HCl is, and that's breaking down the proteins, making sure that bacteria and bad things that have gotten into, our bodies can't get further. Moves into our small intestine, our large intestine, and out the other end, the rectum and the anus. But the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, those are all really important organs that are still part of the digestive system. So when we talk about digestion, it really starts in the brain. So if you smell food, if you see somebody eating something, your brain then sends signals to your salivary glands to start releasing saliva, to your stomach to start releasing hydrochloric acid, to your pancreas to start releasing digestive enzymes, because your brain is like, ooh, that smells good. We need some energy. So we need some glucose. So we need to eat. So that kind of starts the whole process. So that's why this can be so important. All right. So when we digest our food, the whole reason we digest food is to get the minerals and vitamins out of the food. We are eating something that is made up of all of these amazing little teeny tiny things, but we have to break down the food so these little vitamins and minerals, tiny, can get through the walls of the intestine and move out into the bloodstream, and then we can make energy from those, and we use those for so many functions ourselves. Okay, so that's really the whole point of it. We can only digest our food when we are in the parasympathetic nervous system, when we are relaxed, when we are in that sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, when we're going, when we're getting things done, or we're scared, or we're ready to fight or flee, we can't digest. Our digestive system is actually turned down, because if you're fighting for your life, that's all about survival. If you're fighting for your life or you have to run away, we don't want to be worrying about your digestion. So that system is turned down. The blood isn't moving to the GI tract. It's moving to the muscles. Our eyes dilate, our heart starts to beat faster, all of these things so we can survive. But with our crazy modern life, we live in that sympathetic nervous system, because when we're worrying about bills and we're running from here to there, we're in that sympathetic nervous system. So we have to shift from that sympathetic nervous system that most of us are in during the day to the parasympathetic, where we can digest, where our body is ready to take in the food. All of our juices, all of our enzymes, our hydrochloric acid is going to be there to break down the food. Our muscles are going to be moving the food through the system, all of that. Okay. So that's what I mean by we want that digestive system to be turned on. We want everything, we want all the functions to work. So there are things that you're probably doing every day when you eat that are causing poor digestion, for it not to function as well. And that's what can cause gas, bloating. That's what messes with your microflora. That's what messes with your immune system. You are allowing things like bacteria and viruses to get into the body that shouldn't be there. Okay. So that's what I really want to talk about today, is how you can improve digestion. So number one, hopefully you're making your food so you know what you're eating. So when you're making your food, have fun. Don't be annoyed. Don't be angry. Turn on the music and dance around. Have fun. People are like, I hate to cook. Well, don't let yourself hate to cook. Put the music on. It's hard to hate anything when you're dancing around to music. So you can make your food with love. If you're going to get your food, then again, think of nice thoughts. Be grateful to the people and the restaurant where you're getting your food from, that kind of thing. Okay. Big, big, big point. Do not eat standing up. And I know it can be so easy. I catch myself all the time. When you're in the kitchen and you're grabbing something out of the fridge, you just start eating it. I don't want you to do that anymore. I want you to sit down to eat. I want you in a distraction-free zone. No TV, no book, no phone, no computer, not working. This is the time for you to concentrate on your meal. And yes, you can take 10 minutes out of your day several times to eat without having something else that you're doing, that multitasking. This is a non-multitasking zone. Okay. Look at your food. Again, that's that brain getting everything ready. So it's telling the salivary glands, whoop, release more saliva with those enzymes. It's getting the stomach ready. It is, activating the pancreas to start releasing pancreatic enzymes. So you're ready. I love to then show gratitude, because again, you can't be in a bad mood when you're feeling gratitude. It increases the energy level. So I just like to be thankful for the food. Thank you for this wonderful, healthy food that is going to nourish my body, help me be healthy, help me heal, and give me energy. Whatever you want to say. Okay. Now, again, another really important thing is when you go to take a bite. And actually, before we get to the bite, most of us are still going to be in that sympathetic nervous system at this point. So I recommend some belly breaths. And if you've been following me, you know how to do your belly breaths, but we can go over it. You can put your hand on your stomach. And instead of breathing up here, you're going to be allowing your belly to actually expand outward. So your belly needs to be relaxed. And when you breathe in, when you inhale, your belly is going to move outward. And when you exhale, it comes back in. And this is just moving that diaphragm where the vagus nerve runs. We're activating that vagus nerve to shift our nervous system. So long, slow breath in. Belly moves outward. And if you're not used to this, then you can open your mouth and release the day, release all the stuff from the day. It feels great. Like I already feel lighter. I like to say, take 5, do 5 of those. Okay. 3 more. After that, if you still feel riled up, do 10. Okay. It just depends on you, your day, your personality. But whenever you feel like you feel relaxed, you feel your shoulders coming down, you feel your heart rate slow, now you're ready. When you go to take a bite, what I say is pick up the food and then let half of it fall off. So take about half the size of the bite that you would normally take, because we all are used to just shoveling food in a hurry. A lot of times we don't even chew it. We pick up our drink, take a drink, and just gulp it down. Not great for digestion. If you do that, let me tell you, you're going to have reflux later. You're going to have gas and bloating. You're going to have burping. You're not going to feel great. So, small bite. So, just be intentional. Be aware of what you're doing. Try to get out of your head. We live in this external world where we're thinking and trying to fix things and figuring out what we're going to do next. And when you eat, allow yourself to move out of that. Allow yourself to relax. So maybe you bring your visual, your visual down to your heart. And just take that small bite and chew. And really, maybe you need to close your eyes in the beginning, because really eating is all about enjoyment, right? We're eating food that we love, that tastes good, that's nourishing our body. So if you're having a hard time getting out of your head, then maybe close your eyes and really concentrate on the bite you just put in your mouth. Maybe even let it sit on your tongue for a couple of seconds. And then when you chew it, think about the texture. Is it soft? Is it hard? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it sweet? Is it salty? Is it bitter? Is it sour? And just chew it and chew it and chew it until it's really pretty close to liquid form. And the longer you chew things, the sweeter it's going to taste. And I don't want you to pick up any water. I just want you to eat. And once you've chewed it, you're going to swallow. And then you're going to do it all again. It's going to be small bites, enjoying the food, savoring the flavor, and then swallowing and doing it again. I recommend drinking before a meal and then drinking in between meals. Most of the time when we're drinking during the meal, it's so we don't have to chew. So you're getting bored. You're like, this chewing, I don't want to have to sit here and chew so long. I'm going to pick up my drink and guzzle it down. Not great for digestion. Again, you're asking for bloating, gas, nausea, reflux. So just have your drink there. That's perfectly fine, but just enjoy your food, okay? And you can be talking to people, but if you're talking to people, I would talk to people. And then after you're done talking, I would pick up and chew. When you're starting to do two things at once, you're bringing more air into the system. You're going to have burping. You're going to have some of those problems. Okay. It's just a fact of life. So those are the main things I really want to emphasize. If you can do these things whenever you eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner, any snacks, it is going to cut your digestive issues at least in half, if not more than that, or altogether. We still have to think about what you're eating, of course, and where your stomach is right now. Because if you have leaky gut, if you've got an infection, if your microflora is completely off, then you're going to have other issues, of course. But this is basic. This is the foundation to start with, because this is what needs to happen all the time, every day, every time you eat, in order to get the vitamins and minerals from your food to make energy. Think about it. You could be eating really healthy, but if you're not breaking down that food, then you're not absorbing the vitamins, minerals. You're not making energy. Of course, you're going to be tired. Of course, you're not going to have a lot of energy to do the things that you want to do. So it all makes sense when you really understand the physiology and how it works. So again, when you go back to digestion, if you're not doing this foundational step, then everything afterwards is probably not functioning correctly. You're probably not moving food through your system at a rate where you can have a daily or 2 times daily bowel movement, okay? It all works as a beautiful system, and if you're rushing when you eat, if you're standing up when you eat, if you're doing several things when you eat, if you're putting in huge bites, you're barely chewing and then you're gulping it down, it's a lot harder for the system. It has to work a lot harder, and that food may not be completely broken down. The interesting thing is when we start talking about vitamins, when we start talking about like B12, vitamin B12 needs to be broken down or removed from the food, then it has to then become convert into it has to then bind to something else to be carried out into the small intestine in order for it to be absorbed. So if those things don't happen in the stomach, then later down the line, the B12 can't be absorbed. And that may be why you're low in B12. Maybe you don't have enough hydrochloric acid, you don't have enough intrinsic factor. That's what it has to bind to then be carried into the small intestine where it's absorbed. So there's lots of things to think about. It needs to be this beautiful symphony where things work smoothly and properly. So again, basics. We can't move forward and talk about food yet until we've talked about this, until I've urged you to make this a habit. And I tell you, I mean, even for me, when I go down to the kitchen and get something if I'm going to have a snack and I get something out of the refrigerator, I find myself starting to go for it, a bite, standing up, and I'm like, oh, no, no, no. And I go and sit down, do my relaxation, be thankful for the food, take my bite and chew. So it might not be easy for you in the beginning, and that's okay. But just so you understand the importance of it, the more you can think about it, the more you can have me saying in my head, in your head, my voice in your head saying, ooh, pick up that forkful, but then remove a little bit of food so it's a smaller bite, put it in your mouth and just let it sit there. Chew, 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 because that is definitely going to help reduce some of the problems that you may be having. I really wanted to emphasize this basic thing. You hear me talk a lot about leaky gut and a lot about other things. And you might have heard me talk about, your disruptive habits, the disruptive habit trap. That's where I think eating falls into that disruptive habit trap. For how many years, who knows, you have been grabbing food and eating it a certain way, not thinking about it. It's like driving a car. Once you get behind the car, you don't really think about it. When you go to eat, you don't really think about it. But I want to stop you now because I want you to think about it. I want you to be more intentional, okay? Because your health will not be as great, as tip top as it could be if you're not doing this basic step. I still have my offer up for the free lab clarity call. I absolutely love to do this. It's so much fun. So if you have some recent lab work and your doctor either really didn't tell you anything about it, didn't really explain it, maybe said your labs look fine and you don't feel well. There has to be something in those labs that, is going to tell you what's truly going on in your body, then I will help you with that. It's a quick questionnaire. Then you send me your labs. I take a look at your labs. I'm going to email you again so we can set up an actual call. The call's scheduled for 20 minutes. It may go a little over, depends how many questions you have. But I literally just look at the labs and give you a summary of them. If there are certain labs that you don't understand why the doctor did them, you don't understand what they show, I can explain that as well. Okay, so I think it's a great thing for you to understand because you're going to be getting labs drawn the rest of your life. And the more you know about your labs, then the more you can have a conversation with your doctor about them. All right. So take me up on my offer. It won't be around forever. All righty. All right. Have a great day, and I'll see you later.